Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Subject Computer Science for 12th Standard A section. Last class we completed chapter 30:11. Now we are going to discuss the new chapter 12, Structured Query Language. So let's start our class. In this session we are going to cover four topics of this chapter. 1. Introduction to SQL. 2. Role of SQL in RDBMS. Processing skills of SQL and components of SQL. Let's start our first class of 12th chapter 12. So introduction to SQL. What is SQL? SQL abbreviated as a structured query language. It is a standard programming language to access and manipulate databases. So this is the language like C, C++, Java, VB, Python, but the specialty of the language is specially designed to query databases. What we can do with SQL, by using SQL we can allow user to create, retrieve, alter, transfer information among databases. So this is called a language. Because it is called a language, we can give instruction, we can write programs in databases oriented programs by using SQL. That's why this SQL is called as a language. It is also designed for managing accessing data in relational database management system. Next, there are many versions of SQL. The original version was introduced at IBM in 1970s. It is called as CQL. Later, the language was changed into SQL. In 1986, ANSI, American National Standard Institution, published an SQL standard that was updated again in 1992. The latest SQL was released in 2008 and named as SQL 2008. So next topic is role of SQL in RDBMS. RDBMS stands for Relational Database Management System. Oracle, MySQL, MySQL Server, IBM DB2, Microsoft Access comes under RDBMS software packages. So of course we already know SQL is a language which is used to access data in databases. In RDBMS also, in general, databases is collection of tables where we can store a sets of data, and these data can be queried by using SQLs. Generally, RDBMS is a type of database DBMS software which stores all the data in the form of tables. Tables is a structure related of rows and columns. By by using SQL commands, we can create tables, read tables, data update and delete operations can collectively called known as CRUD. Create, read, update and delete. So all the functions are executed in RDBMS through SQL language. The the data in RDBMS stored in the form of tables. Table is a collection of data, entire related data, and it consists of rows and columns. In databases, rows are called as fields are called as fields is also called as columns. So each and every columns maintains specific related information about every record. Here record refers to row. So a record is a row which is a collection of related fields or columns exist in a table. The vertical entity is known as field and horizontal entity is known as record. So it is the basic information. So whatever data we store in database, it is stored in the form of tables. So each and every table is known as instance, and each and every field in table is called field. Column is called field, and each and every row is called as record. Field is a piece of data in a related records, and row is a record which will give a complete information about a single person or any student. So next we are going to see the topic called processing skills of SQL. So the various processing skills of SQL are DDL, data definition language. So this is a group of command or category of command used to create the schemas are called structures, deleting relations, creating indexes and modifying relations in schemas. Schemas generally refer to structure of any database of any table. Next one is DML, it is another category which is used to give a command related to insert, delete, modify tuples. So here tuples is also called as rows. So in any table, row is also called as record. Record is also called as tuples. Tuples consist of many pieces of data with different data types, and each and every data are related to each other. The third skill is embedded data manipulation. It is a high level programming language which we are going to discuss in this chapter. Next, viewing definition. The SQL command which is used to view the definition of any table is called viewing definition. Authorization. The SQL includes commands for accessing rights to relation and views of table. Next, integrity checks the some conditions on data. So next one is transaction control. So these are different skills which can be accessed, which can be implemented in any databases created by SQL command. So this is called the various skills of SQL. So next topic is component of SQL. So now we are going to discuss the SQL commands and their components. Uh, SQL commands are divided into five categories: DDL, data definition language; DML, data manipulation language; DCL, data control language; TCL, transaction control language; DQL, data query language. Students, I repeat, MySQL is the name of the database software. SQL is a commands which are used by all databases like MS Access, Oracle, DBase, and MySQL. So here we are going to discuss the basic components of SQL. That is five different components: DDL, DML, DCL, TCL, DQL. These components consist of many commands related to SQL. Now we are going to discuss first topic, DDL, data definition language. These commands are used to define the database structure or schema. So database is created by tables, the queries, views, and other components which are defined by this the data DDL, data definition language. See the second point, used to create and modify the structure of database objects in databases. So here database object refers to table, queries, views, and in fact database also. A database perform following function. Number one, it should identify the type of data division such as data items, segment, record, and databases, files, etc. So here data items, segment, record, and database files refers to table, column, rows, that is we already discussed in ER model. Now the next point is it it gives a unique name to each data item, record type, file type, and databases. So each and every component created by using DDL, it should be given, it should be named. These names are unique. It should specify proper data type for each and every column. Now we are going to in the next topics we are going to discuss different types of data types. Data types are used to mention what type of data should be used in any column. Next, it should define the size of the data item. Now, the next point, that is the size of the data. How much of data we are going to use in a specific column. For example, the basic component of database is table. In table, there are many columns. Each and every column should have data type, should have size. That is, data type refers to what type of data we are going to store in the column. That is either text, number, symbols, or any other thing. Next, size refers to how much of data we are going to save in the column. These are defined by this DDL. It may be defined the range of values that a data item may use. The next point refers that range of values. Range of values means in a specific column or in a record, we can specify what type of data and what size of data, and next is the range. If you want to mention range, you can also specify the range for a data used in a specific column. The next point is it may specify privacy logs for preventing unauthorized data entry. So DDL is also used to give security, that called privacy logs. This is called the authentication process which we are going to use in this lesson and which are going to discuss in this lesson. The next components is some of the DDL commands are create, alter, drop, truncate. So create, alter, drop, truncate are DDL commands which comes under data definition language. Create is used to create table, database, views, queries, etc. Alter, which are used to alter in table, query, views, etc. Drop command is used to delete table, database, queries, views, etc. Truncate, which removes all records from a table, also release the space occupied by those records. So drop command used to delete the table. Truncate table is used to delete the records, not table. It means when you use truncate command, table exists but the record does not exist. So this is the difference between drop and truncate. Drop command used to remove overall structure of the table and also the records, but truncate command is used to remove only the records, not the table. So this is the some example for data definition language commands, that is create, alter, drop, truncate. So this now we are going to learn the second component, that is DML, data manipulation language. This language, that is the command comes under DML used for adding, that is inserting, removing, that is deleting, modifying or updating data in a database or in a table. So DML commands are used to insert, delete, update data in the database. After the database created, the data can be manipulated using set of procedures which are expressed by DML. By data manipulation, we mean insertion, retrieval, deletion, modification. So we can insert new data to table, we can retrieve the information from the database. Next, we can delete the data information from the table. Next, we can modify the data in the table. So we can do these four important process by using DML commands, that is insertion, retrieval, deletion, modification. We can execute this process by using the three basic commands in DML. So one insert, second one update, third one delete. Insert command is used to insert. Of course, we know update is used to update the existing data. Delete is used to delete all records from a table, but not the space occupied by them. So here you can see delete command is used to record all the records in the table, but not specific occupied space occupied by them. So here we already discussed there is a command called truncate which is used to remove all records, as well as it is also release the space occupied by those records. But delete command is used to delete only the records but not release the space occupied by them. So this is the simple difference between truncate and delete command. Now we are going to discuss the third component, data control. Data control language, DCL. This is used to control the database operation. It is also used to control privileges in the database. Here privileges means authorization. Privileges are required for performing all database operations such as creating sequence, views, etc. of tables. So of course we are using a MySQL software which was comes under light, that is light database, that is web databases used in internet, where a single database can be accessed simultaneously more than one user. When many users accessing simultaneously a single table from a database, the permission are vary from user to user depending upon their position. So these positions, these the authorization is called privileges, which we can give by using the commands DCL. There are two basic commands in DCL. One is grant, another one is revoke. So grant and revoke are two important commands in DCL. Grant command is used to give permission to one or more users to perform specific task. So grant command is used to give permission. Revoke command is used to withdraw the permission given to any user. So these two commands comes under DCL, data control language, which is used to give or revoke or withdraw permissions from table. Next command is transaction control language. So these commands are used to manage transaction. Transaction means saving or rollbacking or undoing the whatever the action given by the user. So this can be managed by TCL. There are three important commands in TCL. One is commit, Commit, second one is rollback, third one is save point. Commit saves any transaction into database permanently. It is just like save command in our uh, MS Word. So commit command is used to save any transaction into the database permanently. Rollback restore the database to last commit state. Rollback is just like undo command which restore all the transactions. Next, save point is a temporarily save a transaction so that you can roll back. So these are the three commands comes under TCL. One, commit, which saves data permanently or transaction permanently. Rollback, restore all the transaction to the last commit state. Save point, which saves temporarily the transactions. Because so these three commands are used and comes under TCL. Next, data query language. Of course, query means question. For asking question in SQL, we use this command called select, which is used to display the records from the table. So there is only one command in DQL, that is called select. Next next topic is data type. So we discuss 5 different components of MySQL. That is number one, DDL, data definition language. In this language, we discuss 4 commands. One is create, second one is alter, third one is drop, and the fourth one is truncate. Comes under DDL language. Next language is DML. This group consists of 3 commands: insert, update, delete. Now we also discussed the DCL. There are 2 commands in DCL. One is grant and revoke. Next command, transaction control language. There are 3 commands in TCL: commit, rollback, save point. Now the last component is DQL, that is query language. There is only one command, that is select is the only one command used in DQL. Now we are going to discuss about the data types. Of course, when we create any database, we should store data. So when we are going to store a data in a database, the data type plays a very important role, which specifies what type of data are going to store in the database. So this identifies as the data type of the data, or by assigning each field as a data type. All the values in a given field must be of same type. So there are many different data types are here. Number one is char, second varchar, third decimal, fourth numeric, int, small int, float, real, and double. These are some of the data types which you are going to use in these SQL commands. So first one, char, it is fixed with string value. Values of this type is enclosed in a single quote. For example, Anus will be written as a Anus. Here you can see we are using a single quotes for you giving input in this type of data type used to give the characters. Next, varchar is more or less with a character string. This is similar to character except the size of the data entry considerably high in varchar. So here char is a basic data type which used to store character. Varchar is the another data type which is also used to character in the form of string with high number of space. Next, des is a third data type which is used to store data decimal numbers in two decimal numbers. It represents a fractional number such as 15.2, 0.12. These are the some examples for decimal numbers. The size of the size argument consists of 2 parts. One is precision and scale. Precision indicates how many digits the number may have, and the scale indicates the maximum digits to be right of the decimal point. Here you can see the size can be mentioned to the decimal by in this form, that is 5 comma 2. Here 5 refers to precision, 2 refers to the scale. It means in this type of data type we can store up to 5 digits of number to the decimal point, and 2 digits of number to fraction point. So this is the example for decimal. Now we are going to discuss the next data type. Numeric data type is also like a decimal except that the maximum number of digits may not exceed the precision argument. So numeric and decimal is more or less same, but the maximum number of precision argument should not exceed. Next, integer is also used to now store number without decimal point. Here we can in numeric and decimal data type we can store fraction point. Here in integer we cannot store fraction point or decimal point. In small int we can store integer, that is a whole number with a limited number. Compared to int, small int is smaller, so that's why it's called a small int. Float is also used to store decimal point with a floating 10 exponent notation, may define as a precision up to 64 digits. Next, real is the next data type. It is used same as float, except the size argument is not used and may define a precision up to 64. So these are the some of the data types which are going to use in this SQL command. The double is same as real, except the precision may exceed 64. So double is the largest data type in the above discussed data types. Next, we are going to discuss the SQL commands and their functions. SQL commands have four components. One is keyword, second one is command, third one is class, fourth one is argument. So each and every commands must contain keyword and command, but clause and arguments are optional. Depending upon the command, it may vary. So here, first we discuss keywords. Keywords, they have a special meaning in SQL. They are understood as a instruction. Commands, they are instruction given by the user to the database, also known as statement. Class, they begin with a keyword and consist of keyword and argument. Argument, they are the values given to make class complete. So class and arguments are the two components which was used inside in the keyword. So this is the four component of SQL commands. Now we are going to discuss how to install MS SQL. For using MS SQL, MySQL software, there is a XAMPP is a software is recommended in your subject, but I am using a WAMP which is similar, which is a simple and very easy to install and work with. So I request all students install WAMP from internet. But after installing the WAMP, double click on the WAMP icon desktop. You can see a small W icon appears on the right side of the taskbar. This symbol change into three colors. One is red, orange, green. If you cannot see the green symbol, don't worry. From orange itself, we can open the WAMP. So here we are using the WAMP software, and after clicking on the W icon system tray, select the MariaDB or SQL option. After selecting MariaDB or console or MS SQL, log on to MS SQL console or user. Enter password as nothing. That is no need to enter password. The MariaDB or MS SQL prompt appears from your screen. This is the 10 steps which you are going to execute now for opening a WAMP software. So WAMP is a server software which is essential for you running the PHP and as well as MySQL software. So I already installed WAMP in my system. Now I am going to open the WAMP software. Now we are going to open the WAMP software. First thing, go to desktop. Here you can see WAMP server W icon. Double click this icon. You can see a small W icon. Just press yes. If you see any dialog boxes, press yes and click OK. So here you can see a small command prompt opens. Wait for a few minutes. You can see a W icon appears in your system tray. This is the system tray. When a small W icons appears here, you can see the W icons appears in the system tray. The first color is red. That means this server is under process. After is changed into orange and then green. If your server icon didn't change into green, don't worry. Just click on the W icon. You can see a menu. This is called shortcut menu or web server menu. Here you can see many commands. You want to use the start all services option very first. So click start all services. After wait for a while. Here you can see the red color is changed into orange. Now click on this icon. Go to MariaDB or MySQL option and then select MariaDB or MySQL console. Depending upon the version of web server, this option is vary. I am using WAM server 3.20. You can install any web server which you want. So after installing, you want to double click on this icon. Here you can see a W icon appears with red color. Here you when W icon is red color, click on this icon. A menu is appeared, web server menu. The first step is click or start all services. After that, when W icon change into orange icon, click the orange W icon, go to the MariaDB, select the MariaDB console. Here a dialog box appear. You can select the username. Now we are using a root user, so simply click OK. Here you can see a MySQL prompt appears and asking for a password. Enter password. For root user there is no password, so simply press enter. After printing enter, you can see MariaDB prompt is appeared. So now we are going to use the DML, DCL, TCL, DQL and other commands with SQL in a MySQL software. The first command which we are going to learn is the working with databases show and use command. So here we are using a show command. This command is used to view a databases. So the first command which we are going to use in the SQL is show. So simply type show databases without spelling mistake. Use small letters databases. At the end you should use semicolon. For each and every statement ends with a semicolon. This is called terminator. So we are going to execute the first command, show databases. This command is used to display the number of databases created in any in MySQL. Here you can see different databases: information underscore schema, MySQL, performance and schema, test. So there are only 4 databases here. The next thing which we are going to use is show use databases. So next we are using a next command called use databases. To work with the databases, type the following command. If you want to use any database, here simply type use and then name of the database. If you are going to use information under schema, here you want to type information under schema. If you want to use MySQL, then type MySQL. If you want to use test, then type test. So I am going to use the MySQL database. So here I am going to give name MySQL. So use space MySQL. At the end we should use semicolon and then press enter. Now here you see the message database change. In the prompt you can see MariaDB MySQL. It means you are using a MySQL database. So here you can execute show databases command again to see any databases created inside the MySQL database. So there is no message. You can see an error message. You have an error in SQL syntax. Check the manual, because in MySQL is a database where we cannot create another database. That's why it show errors. Sorry, databases. So here you can see the mistake. Spelling mistake is here databases. So MySQL database consists of these databases. Again the same databases are displayed here. If you want to change the database from MySQL to another one, simply use command and then type the new database name. Now I am going to use the test database. Here you can see the prompt is changed from MySQL to test. That means now we are using a test database. So this is the simple command used to show and use the databases. Number 1, show databases, used to display the number of databases created in our software. Second, use database. Use command is used to databases. Now we are going to see the next commands, that is show tables. This command is used to view number of tables created in any databases. For example, now we are using a test database. It means here show tables command is used to display number of tables created in test databases. Now you can see tables in the test. It means test is the name of the database. There are three tables in this database. Number one, student one, number two, student two, number three, student three, which was already created by me. Now I'm going to change the database from test to SQL using use command. Use MySQL. Now the database is MySQL. Here I am using show tables command to display number of tables created in MySQL database. So here you can see there are many tables are created. See, these are the tables in MySQL. So whatever table created by user or system is displayed in this command by using show tables. So next command which we are going to use in the after creating table, these 4 and 5th command, these commands are used to view columns of the table. These commands are used to show the index of the table. So now I'm going to change the table database from MySQL to test. So use test. Now I am going to use the uh, command, fourth command called show columns from table name to view columns from a table. So for example, here you can see in test database there are many tables. So by using show tables we can see number of tables. There are three tables in test database. Now if you want to see the columns in the table, so simply type show space columns space table name. Show columns space from table name. So show columns from table name. Table name is student 1. Sorry, there was a error. Show column from student 1. Show columns. So show columns from student 1. So you can see there are 5 columns: admin, name, gender, age, place. So there are 5 columns in this student 1 and their data types are displayed here. Here the sum of the indexes are displayed here: null value, key, default, key, etc. So here key refers to number of keys created for a column in a table. So there is no key in this table. Now we are going to use this command show columns for second table student 2. Here you can see the two keys are created for two columns. First one primary key for admin and unique key for exam number. So now we are going to use the third table show columns for student 3. In this column there are two primary keys are you created, that is for f name and l name. So this is the command, simple command used to see the number of columns and their details of any table, that is show columns from table name. So the fourth command is completed. Now we are going for fifth command to view indexes from a table. So if you want to view indexes, indexes is a component used to index the table, that is for create which we are going to discuss from in the upcoming topic. But we simply understand here that show indexes from table used to display the indexes of the table, like columns. Indexes, show indexes. So show indexes from a table name. Now I'm going to execute this show indexes for the first table student 1. Here you can see empty set, it means there is no index for student 1. Now I'm going to execute the show index command for second table. Now you can see there are many indexes detail are here. That the indexes refers to primary key, sequence, column name, collation, cardinality, subpart. These contents are called indexes. If you want to see the indexes only, you can use this command show indexes from any table name. Now I'm going to execute the show indexes command for table third table student 3. So here also you can see the different indexes for the student 3. So this is the simple command used to display number of databases, number of tables. Next, use command is used to switch from one database to another database. Show command is used to display number of tables. Show table command. Show tables command is used to display number of tables in any database. Show columns is used to display number of columns from any table. In the same way, show indexes is the command is used to display indexes from any table. Now the next topic is creating a database. So this is the databases which was already created by me. Now we are going to create the same databases, same table by using a creating command. Now we are going to create a new database. How we can create? The simple command create space database, give the database name. Here is the example, create database student. Now we are going to execute this command, create database name is defined by the user. So I am going to give the database name student, shortly stud. After completing command, simply type the semicolon and then press enter. Here you can see a message, query OK, one row affected. It means your command is executed successfully. Yes, stud database is created. If you want to see the database, simply type show databases. Here you can see a new database is added in the existing database called stud. When we create when we entered in the MySQL for first time, when we use the show database for first time, you can see there is only 4 databases. Now after creating a new database, here you can see you cannot see stud. It means there is no database in the name of stud. So after executing this command called create databases, we created a new database called stud student database. So you can see the stud. After creating a database, now we are going to use the database by using use database name. So use database name stud. Simply type the command. After at the end of the command, press semicolon and then press enter key. Now we are in the database called stud created by my. Now we are going to create a table. So now we are going to create a new table called student 1, of course, which we already seen in the test table, test database. Now we are going to see how to create a table. So we can create a table by using a create command which comes under DDL, that is data definition language. So simply we use this command and keywords create table space table name. After that, please open the parenthesis, type the column name, give the space and then data type size and then comma. In the same way, each and every time if you want to add many columns, you can give column name space data type and then size of the data type comma. So by using comma you can separate columns and you can create number of columns number of columns depending upon your requirement. Here you can see the in this example there are 5 columns are created with different data types. So create table name is student1. Here open parenthesis is entered. After that, admin number space integer is the data type, name space character, and then we are using a parenthesis symbol for giving a size for the character data type, that is 20. It means in name column we cannot enter more than 20 letters. After that, gender, we are using again the character data type. Now we are going this in this command we are giving the size as 1. It means in gender we cannot give more than one letter as a input. After, we are creating a column age, the data type is integer, that means whole numbers only. In place, again we are using a char data type with the size 10. So now we are going to execute the same command in the SQL prompt. So simply type the command create table. and then give the table name stu1. So I am going to short the name stu1. After that, open the parenthesis, type the column name. So I am simply using this column name. Admin number space integer. So comma, and then type name space character within the parenthesis, mention the size and then type comma. Next column gender, character data type. The size of the character data type is 1 here, 1 for the column gender. So so the column name is gender. Now I'm going to change the I'm going to age integer comma, next place character within the parenthesis 10. So after typing number of columns required, close the parenthesis. That means we are now here. We open the parenthesis. At the end, we should close the parenthesis. After that, use terminate command and then press enter. If the command is free from errors, you can see a message query OK, 0 rows affected. It means stu1 table is created. If you want to view the table, simply show tables commands execute. You can see number of tables created. There is a student one. If you want to see the columns for the table, so type show columns from table name stu1. So you can see the different columns and the data types created by now we are going to create the second table student 2 with the different constraints. Of course, now this topic is not explained in your subject, but for more detailed study you should understand this topic constraint. So constraint means is a condition applicable on a field or a set of field set by the user. So constraint means a condition applicable to any field or set of fields. There are uh, five types of constraints are explained here. Number one, unique constraint. Number two, primary key constraint. Number three, default constraint. Number four, check constraint. Number five, not null constraint. These five constraints are used in a single table. So first we should understand the unique constraint. Of course, unique uh, ensure that the each and every rows in a table should be unique. It means there is no duplicate value in any column. So this constraint ensures that no rows have the same value. No rows have the same value. That means there is no duplicate value is entered in the specific column, which is a unique constraint. It means we are in this table we are using a unique constraint for the column exam number. So in exam number we cannot give more than one student with the same exam number. So that is called unique. Next, primary key. It is similar to unique except this field is used to create relationship. So more or less unique and primary key are same, but for creating relationship to another table we are using a primary key. So this is the difference between primary key and unique key. So primary key, unique key used to uh, ensure that no rows have the same value, but primary key is used to create a relationship with another table. Next constraint is default constraint, which is used to give default value to the specific column. So here we are using a default constraint for column place where the default value is amber. It means when user does not give any value to this column, then the amber will take as a default value for the column place. Next constraint is check constraint. This constraint helps to set a limit value placed for the field. For example, here you can see for check constraint is applicable to age where the condition is checked as age should not be greater than 20. So it means age should be less than or equal to 19. So each and every time whenever user try to enter data into the age column, the values are checked. If the value is less than or equal to 19, then it allowed to store the data in the table. If the value is exceed than 19, then the value are not allowed to store. In fact, the particular row itself not allowed to store in this table. So this is the constraint which is used with some condition. Next, not null constraint. This constraint is allowed not allowed to user give null values. It means not null. Here we specify this constraint to the name column. It means name column, name field should not be empty. We should enter any data to the name column. Here it means in admin exam number, gender, age, place we can give null values, that is empty values, but in name column we cannot give null values. So because the not null constraint is applied to the name column. So this is the 5 different constraint which we created, which we are discussing now. So first one is unique constraint, used to ensures that no rows have same values. Primary key is similar to unique, but it is this primary key is used to create relationship with another table. Default is used to default value. Chunk constraint is used to set their range to a specific column. Not null constraint ensures any the particular column should not be null. So now we are going to create this column with constraints. I am going to execute the create table command. Now I am going to execute second column, namely stu1 open parenthesis. Again I am going to type the column name, admin number, integer. With this data type I am going to enclose the constraint name called primary key. Simply type primary space key and then types comma. Next column is exam number space data type integer, constraint name is unique, comma, name data type is char, size of the data type is 20, constraint for the specific column is not null. And then we are going to create the second column, next column called gender. This column does not have any constraint. Next, age column, integer, data type, constraint is check. So what do you want to check? Age should include only value less than or equal to 90. And then type comma. After the entering the age, now we are in the last column, namely place, column data type char, constraint is default. The default value is ambu. The ambu should be enclosed within double quotes. After typing the command column names, so use close parenthesis and then type semicolon, then execute the command simply pressing enter key. So if there is any error, you can, the errors are shown here. See, write the syntax for age less than or equal to 19. So there was a error. That means here you can see age integer check. So there is a simple mistake called spelling mistake check. So again we want to type the whole command from create table to student table student to. First option is by using up and down arrow you can select the command. So you need not type the command. So simply press up or down arrows. After that, when the error command appears on your screen, simply go to the error by using left arrow, replace the error, correct the error, and then press the second. Now the error is rectified. Now we are going to execute the command. So here you can see again there was a error in seventh line, line number 7. So line number 7 have error, that is a single quote should be used here. So I am going to change the same mistake. Check. So after that, and there was error default. So here you can see error default spelling mistake. So you want to change the spelling mistake. Check. Default default and then give the string within the single quotes or double quotes. Now the errors are rectified. Your command is successfully executed. So a second table is also created with 5 different constraints. If you want to see the columns of the table, simply type show columns from table number 2 stu2. Show columns. We should use space between columns and from. So here you can see admin column with primary key, exam column with unique key, name with a null value, that means no. So here you cannot enter null value, gender without any constraint, age with a constraint which was not displayed here, place with a default value, that is onboard is displayed in the default value. So now we are going to see the next command. Constraint are two types. Number one, column constraint, which we already discussed. That is, constraint can be applied to specific column in a table. The second constraint is table constraint, is used to apply to a group or one or more columns. So here in this example, we are going to give a single constraint for a group of columns in a specific table. Here you can see the same fields are created. Here in the end of the command, you can see a primary key constraint is used for two columns. Number one, first name and last name, that is f name and last name. Now this type of constraint called table constraint. That means we are creating a constraint for a specific or group of columns in a table. Now we are going to execute this command to know to better for the better understanding of the table constraint. So simply type create table student number 3. I am simply changing the previous commands by using arrow keys. So because more or less all the commands are same. Next, admin. First column is admission number. The second column is first name. So I am simply using first f name. Data type is character 20. Remove the constraint for a specific column because we are using uh, table constraint. In this table we are going to learn table constraint, that is giving a single constraint to a group of columns. F name, L name. Now we are going to execute the second gender and then age. Next place. After that, now we are going to set the primary key at the end of the table to group of column, namely F name as well as L name. If you want to add more columns, you can add here. I am going to add admission number also, admin number. So simply close the parenthesis and then close the table command parenthesis and then type the semicolon. Here the command is successfully executed. You can see number of tables are created by using show tables command. So there are 3 tables. Now we are going to show the columns of uh, student 3 table from student 3. Here you can see 3 primary keys are created by using table constraint. Admission number, F name, L name. But in example, there is only 2 columns are included. For better understanding, I am enclosed here admission number also. That's why there are 3 primary keys are created in the command. So in this class, we understand how to create a database as well as how to use show and use command in SQL, how to open WAM. The first thing which we learn, that is how to open WAM, after how to use show and use command, and then how to create a database, how to use the database, next how to create table, uh, and how to create table with constraint, that is column constraint, next how to create a table with a table constraint. So this is the end of the class. I hope you understand this concept. I request all students install WAM server from internet and try these commands in your system. If you have any doubt, message me in WhatsApp. Inshallah, we will continue in the next class. For exiting from the MS SQL, simply type the exit command. So SQL is closed. After that, here you can see the WAM service activated now. If you want to end this WAM server, simply stop all service command is used, because we are now ending the WAM server process. At the beginning, we use the start all service commands. For terminating the WAM, we use stop all services. Here you can see the WAMP is converted into red color. That means WAMP is off. So thank you. We will see in the next class. Assalamu alaikum.